and today we are going to celebrate Tim Burton. I'd now like to introduce you to our MC for the day. He is an Emmy award-winning entertainment journalist who has interviewed industry giants around the world and all of the all-stars. And he across all media platforms, and I would like to welcome Tony Potts.
Good morning, everybody. How are you out there? A little warm? A little warm? All right, we'll get moving. Let's get this shindig moving. I'm excited to be the MC today, and as we welcome Tim Burton to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which there's a bit of a story. It used to be via a bus ride from Burbank, am I correct, to this very store. As a kid, he came. He dreamt. I saw him back there earlier looking at other masks, so things are afoot, apparently so. Before we start, let's give a big shout out to our fans tuning in around the world on our live stream with our media partner presented by Variety as well. So all your hoots and hollers are going to go all around the world. The Hollywood Walk of Fame recognizes achievement in the categories of motion pictures, radio, live theater, live performance, sports entertainment, recording, and television. Today, in the category of motion pictures, we honor Tim Burton with star number 2,788 on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, before we invite Tim to the stage, let me tell you a little about our honoree. Actually, this could be 47 pages, but we've tried to condense it down. Tim Burton is a director and artist widely regarded as one of cinema's most imaginative and visual filmmakers. Tim grew up in Burbank, California, just over the hill, as we just said, and attended California Institute of the Arts, CalArts, which is another over the hill in the Santa Clarita Valley, where he studied character animation. There he created his early shorts, which attracted the attention of Walt Disney Productions, as it should have, and gained him an apprenticeship at the studio. Now, while at Disney, he directed the following films: Vincent, the film adaptation of Hansel and Gretel, and Frankenweenie, who the 5-year-old boy in me still loves to say. Now, many of Tim's films, such as Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Big Fish, and Alice in Wonderland, have garnered numerous Academy Awards, BAFTAs, and Golden Globe nominations and wins, cementing Tim's status as one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Now, Tim has a dedicated following, notably for classic features such as his 1985 directorial debut and huge hit, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The wildly invented Beetlejuice, and the action blockbusters Batman and its follow-up, Batman Returns. So the cool thing here is, though, one of Tim's probably greatest industry achievements is helping to reinvigorate the stop-motion industry, starting with his 1993 creation and cult classic, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, followed by 2005's Corpse Bride and 2012's Frankenweenie. The latter two, both Academy Award and BAFTA nominated films. Arguably, however, his most beloved film is the 1990 romantic fantasy film called Edward Scissorhands, which he directed, co-wrote, and produced. Most recently, Tim has received international acclaim for his work on the hit TV series Wednesday, which my daughter last night told me she loves. She's 30 and she watches it. And his film Beetlejuice, the highly anticipated sequel to his 1988 feature Beetlejuice, which opens in cinemas nationwide this Friday. Please help me welcome to the stage our newest Walk of Famer, the one, the only, Mr. Tim Burton. now what happens is we make you stand there for another 10 minutes. So we have some people who love you, who want to... He's like, enough, all right. Our first speaker is an award-winning actress who has become a Hollywood icon for her dynamic and varied performances and for constantly challenging herself with each project. She will soon be seen reprising her iconic role as Lydia Dietz in Warner Brothers Pictures' Tim Burton film Beetlejuice. This long-awaited sequel to the cult classic marks their fourth collaboration. Now, you've seen her in Martin Scorsese's The Age of Innocence. She is currently in production on the final season of some small series. You know, we hope it gets some traction. It's called Stranger Things. Please welcome to the stage, Walk of Famer, Winona Ryder.
So happy to be here to honor our beloved Tim, who's finally getting his star. I mean, giving his star is sort of like pinning a medal on Mount Everest for being the tallest mountain. Tim has such a beautiful and unique understanding of the human heart. He knows the heartache of the misunderstood, the strange, and unusual. He doesn't just understand them, he celebrates them. Whether outcasts, oddballs, terrifying, or hilarious, he gives them depth, humor, and always a certain gallantry, and he gives them their dignity. His heroes are the very outcasts that he loves. So we've been traveling all over the place promoting Beetlejuice, and I have been asked so many times what it's like to work with Tim, and it's actually, to describe it, is actually kind of hard. To work with Tim is like being invited to wander through his heart and imagination. It's the ultimate cathedral and one of my most cherished and sacred places to be, and I am eternally grateful for the time that I've spent there. And on a personal note, Tim, your friendship has been such an enormous gift. When I met you, I was a weird kid. And you affirmed my voice, you reinforced my confidence to be myself, to go against the tides of conformity. Your creative inclusiveness showed me what true artistic collaboration looked like. And in other words, you made being a weird girl not just okay, but something to celebrate and even kind of cool. And you've carried that torch for us weirdos everywhere, making us all feel seen and valued. Congratulations, I love you so much.
Winona Ryder, everybody. Now, before we bring up our next speaker, we have a couple of friends of yours who are here. I have friends? To celebrate. You have friends. You have many friends. Actor Danny DeVito is here. You guys have done, I think there's 4 films together? Danny boy! 4 films? 4, 5. 4-ish, 5-ish. Okay, 5. Actress Monica Bellucci. Costume designer Colleen Atwood. Actor Deep Roy. All right, our next speaker, you might know who he is. He's an accomplished actor, known for his powerful performances on screen. Now, throughout his career, he's received multiple awards, including Oscars, Golden Globes, Emmys, among many others, in one of Hollywood's greatest collaborations of all time. See you smiling there. He has worked with Tim 5 times, beginning with the beloved classic Beetlejuice. Now their work continued on the blockbusters Batman and Batman Returns, Walt Disney Studios' Dumbo, and now Beetlejuice. Welcome, Walk of Famer, Michael Keaton.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You have to stand there during all this. Well, I can do that. I'm gonna do what Tim and I gotta say, respectfully do. Usually when we start a project, we see this script and we kind of go, okay. And then we start making things up. Some of this is going to be things I've said before, so bear with me. The first 2 or 3 meetings I had with Tim, I was told there's this young, talented director, and he wants to meet you for something. So I go and I have a meeting, and it was pleasant. And I left, and they said, "What did you think?" And I said, "Nice guy. I have no idea what he's talking about." And then 2 or 3 meetings that were really similar, I went home, and this time I think there were some sketches, if I'm not mistaken. And I said, "I like him even more. For sure, I love this guy." And there's something I still have no idea what he's talking about when we were talking about Beetlejuice. But 5 movies later, and over 30 years of knowing him, I still have no idea what he's talking about. Not only do I know what he's talking about, seriously, I feel it on every movie. It's beyond shorthand. So when I hear Winona and other people use this word, weird, well, then count me in, because I feel really, really comfortable around this guy, working with him. It's just a joy. I vividly remember the first day walking on the set of Beetlejuice, and I had some ideas that I thought might work, and I was in the wardrobe and everything, and Tim hadn't even, and I had never even rehearsed anything. I remember it so clearly, and then walking on thinking, well, I hope this works, and then Tim giving me kind of a brief tour of the sets, which, to say it was, first of all, you walk in and you go, shrunken heads, okay, shrunken heads, you go, all right. And then you see these remarkable, beautiful sets, and it didn't take me very long to feel really, really comfortable. And it's been like that ever since. It just feels good to be around art, and to be a part of it is rare, and it's an experience I get to have every time I'm on a set with Tim. I mean, when you think there were these 2 young guys, this kid from Burbank and me, really getting away with something that no one quite knew what we were doing, and then you bring into the mix the great Winona, who's as sweet as can be and talented, and my pal Catherine and the rest of the cast, and it just always got better. So I'm sorry, I'm going to read here a little bit. But the openness, Danny will tell you this, the openness that he has to creativity. A lot of times there are directors who are threatened or insecure. He's never been like that, at least in my experience. There's just an openness to ideas and creativity. So there's also this wonderful lack of pretension. In fact, in this second one, and even in the first one, Tim actually comments on the pretentiousness of some art. And you always think back and say, well, did they say that? this thing of thinking outside the box or being different, or being not the usual. You know, did they say that about the surrealists and the cubists? I'm sure they did. And this guy, when it comes to film, is in that world to me. He's right there. I just want to finish here in a minute by talking about the whole Batman thing. Yeah. You know, he hands me a script and says, please read this and tell me what you think. Now, this is after Beetlejuice, after that performance, after that type of movie. And he says to the studio, I want that guy. And I'll never to this day understand this, why anyone even cared, but the uproar. You know, you would have thought we were being invaded. You know, it was unbelievable. The press went crazy, but he stuck by me. And the guts it took for him to make that decision will always be special to me, obviously. But also, you bet. But also, what that spawned, you know? There are a lot of people making a lot of money out there with their superhero movies because of his choice and his vision of what those movies can be, because he changed everything. I've said it 100 times, but it's true. So, true. The man's a genre unto himself, and you know, I'll just say this. Who would have thought when I showed up that this guy from right over there in Burbank and me from this little town in Pennsylvania with these ideas would have ever created this and come to this moment? Well, I guess you and I would have thought that. So to misquote, and I don't know why I didn't say this the first day I ever walked on the set after the end of my first day shooting with a guy, to somewhat misquote Bogart from Casablanca, Tim, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Thanks, buddy. You're the best.
Michael Keaton, everybody.